Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. JC here with another video. Today I'm gonna talk about a different topic. I'm gonna talk about FGO. FGO is probably a very important part for me. I mean, a very important game for me, since this is the first gacha game that I played, and I love the AIP and everything. I have been playing since almost day one. Well, technically, yes, day one. But unfortunately, with the heavy rains here in Mexico, some of my devices were damaged, and I was able to recover my accounts for Arknights and Time Manning, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to get my account for FGO, which is probably the gacha that I cared about the most. But well, it is what it is. I don't want to do a video about drama. I'm just going to share a little bit about my experience in FGO, about the things that I have done, the things that I remember, just to vent up a little bit, vent out. I don't know how to say it, but just to say it, you know. And I'm also going to talk about some things that players should be aware of and they should be careful with. Um, because in these channels, we try to provide as much value as possible for those who view my content. And in this case, we're going to talk about the bind codes. So there are some things that you should know in case you want to recover your account. And I'm also going to talk about the reasons why I'm not coming back to the game. The only exception would be if I somehow manage to recover my own account, but I don't plan to buy another one or start from scratch. Definitely not. I mean, well, in any case, let's begin. I'm not going to ask you to subscribe. I don't usually do FGO videos. But if you're interested in my older content, be sure to do so. In any case, so where to start with? So this video is going to be divided in three parts basically: my experience, the tips, and the analysis of what the game really needs to improve, because that's part of the reason why I'm not coming back, even though I love the story. So I began to play since day one, but soon after I lost my own account. So I decided to open a new one. Unfortunately, this happened so soon in the game's life that I was able to get the beginner's campaign on my second account. I was able to get Saber Lily, and I did for 7 years my consecutive logging. I didn't fail. I think that I didn't fail once. I don't remember. Like, maybe I did fail once, but I'm sure that I failed on that infamous 24-hour update that everyone remembers. That Gremory, well, not Gremory, La Senga, or the one before La Senga, the company before La Senga, didn't give us the day. They didn't count the day, so it break everyone's login bonus. I mean, I started playing as an F2P when I was a student, and when I heard about the GSSR, I decided to save money however I could, and I'm just part of the Krill. I know that I'm not going to recover my account because I am not a priority in for FGO, for La Senga, because Krill only buys quartz whenever there's the GSSR, and that's it. And that's what I did. So I'm not a high priority in their list, for sure. So I would spend whenever there was a GSSR, and that's about it. I log in constantly, and everything else I would play as an F2P. There was one exception when I whaled, but I mean, only the one exception. Um, but other than that, I try to work through my account every single day, level up my servants, level up their bond, get all the commemoration Cs, get all the events, rewards, the dialogues, everything. And even though I may have not gotten exactly a perfect account with everything, it was a pretty strong account, and I was proud of that. And it hurts, not that I mean, it's a game after all, but the effort we put into things that we care about, it hurts that we are unable to finish them, you know? So I'm not going to be able to see the end of the game. I might. I mean, I can read it on YouTube because it is a visual novel game. But it is not the same to beat those challenges that I still wanted to try. And for the longest time, obviously 2 years or so, I have been saving a ton for this summer. And as you see, I got all the servants because that's what it says in my message. I got all the servants in the summer banners, and Ibuki MP4. That was great. I was really happy because I was expecting like a kind of lower MP level, but I decided to go all in, and I managed to get the MP4, and I was like super happy about that. And the worst part of it is that I wasn't even able to, try Ibuki on challenging content. So, yeah, I was uh, devastated because I I did everything I could to get my account back, and it's time that we talk about the second part of the video, my process to recovering the account. There's important information that you need to take into consideration when playing FGO if you want to uh, have your account like safe. Unlike other gacha games like Arknight's Anti-Manning, FGO doesn't have a way to uh, link your information to a website or anything. Like Arknights, I have it logged in, I don't know, Hypergriffy's account or Facebook, one of those, whichever it is. And then Time Manning, I have it on one of the other services they provide. So it is very easy because you just get to the login screen, you put your corresponding service, and they automatically log in your information. But Fate, for whatever reason, wouldn't do that. They just recently did for JP, and now Japanese players can log their accounts to Aniplex Online, which is very fortunate for them. NA players, as far as I know, are not yet that lucky. And that's why I don't have my account right now. I mean, the moment they do that, I would probably have linked my account and I would save my data and everything. But there are some problems related to FGO accounts, which complicate my existence. As a Mexican, this may sound awkward, but I'll be honest with you. I don't have a huge income. I cannot buy a cell phone every month or so, or twice a year. So whenever one of my devices gets like the specs are not able to run FGO anymore, I wouldn't buy a new one. I would buy an old one, and I just like check very quickly what can run this game, and I would buy a device specifically for that. And it's not the one I use for my phone because here in Mexico there's a problem with robberies. So phones are very likely to get robbed here in Mexico. So I don't do that. I don't put my games into the phone I use for phone calls. So yeah, so I didn't have like the specific information for the device. Uh, so when I had to fill in this form that they give us, this one, with a lot of information, a bunch of things happened that didn't allow me to give the crucial bits of information that support needs to give me my account. So yeah, I probably won't be able to see this account ever again. And FGO at all. Like, if it's not with this account, I won't play FGO. As simple as that. So that's not the only problem regarding the accounts on FGO. Another thing that I really don't like about FGO is that it won't allow you, or at least that happened to me. I don't know if it's still a thing, but it won't allow you to go back and forth from one device to another. You go from one device to the next device, and that's it. You cannot back to the previous device. You cannot go back to the previous device. So that's really like outdated. Like I go back and forth with other games on different devices, and it was no problem. But FGO won't do it for whatever reason. I guess part of it is because of their account security protocol that related to this questionnaire, this this document that I show you. So yeah, I kinda understand, but it's really outdated, like way too outdated. They should just link accounts to an online service, Google, Apple, Facebook, whatever they want. Even Aniplex Online, but here global, I mean. So yeah, that's part of the problem why I won't be able to link my account. There are, let's analyze this very quickly. There are like three big pieces of information that would, well, technically four, but the fourth one didn't help me out, that would help you with your with recovering your account. Number one, and one of the most important one, is your account ID and friend code. Unfortunately, you can only check this in game in your account. You go to, if I'm not mistaken, to friends, and you can see your own. Or if you go to the supporters section, you can check. I don't know if that's still a thing, but I remember that you could check your supporters, and it also came with your friend code there. Due to the fact that here robbery is pretty common, I never took photos of that information. I think that I wrote it down like 7 years ago, but obviously I at this point 7 years later, so I don't know where that note is. So yeah, that's kind of not a thing that I'm going to be able to get. Then another important one that you should be you should be careful with is the model name and number of your device. As I mentioned, due to insecurity here in Mexico, I use a special device only for that, but it broke down due to the weather. So because of electricity and stuff, but that device I didn't know the exact models, so I cannot fill this part. So that's another unfortunate thing that is playing against me. And I didn't use a number on that device because precisely I wouldn't put that device out. I wouldn't go out with that device. Let's see. And another one that could help you out like a lot is the latest transfer code. Latest transfer code is I mean, it's another one that it's kind of odd to ask. We need to write this one down. Like every time you would get into a new device, you have to immediately get the transfer code and put your new password, because the transfer codes are single use, and if you lose it, that's it. And I have been very, very, very careful with the transfer code over the last 7 years. Like, I have been transferring my account whenever there's like requirement issues on my devices, or whenever it stops working. But this year in particular, I don't remember, but I think that I already did the transfer. I took the picture, and I have the picture on my device, but I forgot to upload it onto the cloud. So now I don't have those 3 bits of information. I cannot check the specific model of my device. I cannot check my ID, and I cannot check my transfer code. I am trying to see, but it probably won't be the case. If I can save the internal memory and check the pictures, because I know I have the picture of that, but it probably toasted. So yeah. The last thing that could help you out a lot is if any information about your purchases. Be sure, I mean, if you have a Google account or an Apple account, I guess, you're going to be receiving the information of your purchases. Do not delete those, keep them, because you're gonna need them in case that you lose your account. I filled the form as best as I could without those 3 key pieces of information. I did put the order numbers that I had. I fill the form once again, and I try to add as much information as possible. But even so, I mean, it's not like I'm going to remember the exact amount of quartz that I had. Like, I had very few quartz, but I don't remember the exact amount. Neither I remember the exact amount of rare prisms. So yeah, those were kind of my mistakes. Like, I should have had the specific info of my account written down somewhere. But since it was, I am very like scared about robbery, you know. So that's why I never posted anywhere my friend code. I would always ask people to give me theirs. So yeah, that's play against me, oddly enough. And well, the last thing that we're gonna talk about is the reasons why I'm not coming back. Like, the story is good. The gameplay I like, because I like turn-based strategy games. I like Final Fantasy, like old school Final Fantasy. But I'm definitely not going to go from scratch, even if they give you a ton of SQ at the beginning of the game. I'm not going to put up with their bad practices, you know? Like, um, a big, really big part of what kept me playing this game was sunk cost fallacy. Like, for those who do not know, that means that the more effort you put into something, the less likely is that you're going to stop doing that because you think that all your effort would be wasted. And it's true. A part of me had this sunk cost fallacy syndrome, I guess. But I mean, I'm not going to dwell on it just because I lost it. Then another thing that really pissed me about Fate was the lack of challenging content. Like, yes, there's challenging content, but the really, really, really challenging content is in the anniversaries when they do the super recollection quest or in the story mode. Like, events do have challenges, but if events are meant to be played by everyone, then everyone should be able to, well, beat this kind of challenging content. And I wanted something more challenging, even so. I know that we're gonna receive, or well, players are gonna receive more challenging content in the form of the Bleacher, I think. But even so, I wanted Fate to add, I mean, challenging content that you can farm every day, and that, or challenging content which would have been more fun, because it was super super fun to find ways to beat. I think the way you pronounce it is Cernunnos, the big owl death thing, you know. But having to wait a huge amount of times to get a chapter release, and the fact that you are not able to repeat those battles until they do recollection quests is part of the reason why I don't want to play anymore if I don't have all my roster. Another thing that is keeping me from playing is the terrible, terrible, terrible pity. Like, you have to do 300 pulls to get to pity. Each pull costs 3 quartz. A 10 pull, well, technically 11 pull, costs 30 quartz. And with the most expensive pack, you get 167 quartz. So you need 900 quartz to guarantee pity. Tell me, guys, in your local currency, are you willing to spend that much to hit pity? Like, I love Arknights because it's the most F2P friendly game ever. Like, yeah, it has its flaws, but it is really good in that part. It's like the most F2P friendly thing ever. And Taimanen is not that bad. I mean, of course, there's gacha shenanigans and corporate malpractice as usual, like any gacha. But it is not unbearable like FGO. Yeah, like hitting pity in FGO is the worst. And relying on luck in a gacha game is not great. Daimani has a 3% chance to give you a UR. Also, this Gaia used to have that 3% chance too. It is not that bad, a 3% chance. FGO has 1% chance. And within that 1% chance, there's like point something chance that you get the pickup servant, the pickup SSR, or something else. So yeah, like, I am not willing to do that. I had a ton of good units on my account. I did my best to level them up, to enhance them, to get multiple copies of some of them, to... I mean, it's a whole history, it's a whole journey that's coming to an end because the company wouldn't do their homework. I mean, I also am at fault, but for 7 years I have been doing my best to keep my information and my buying codes, and every now and then I would like double check my buying codes and I would take notes on it just in case. But this time I failed, and now since FGO didn't have an auto save or an auto bind function, I'm going to not be able to play again. So yeah. And another thing, the last thing that it's like I'm tired, sick of this, are all those small mechanics that they have been adding into the game to show your affection for servants and such, that just are not that great. Like, servant coins are like a nice addition, yet the way to get them is terrible, and they need to add more ways to get servant coins, no doubt about it. The faux prints and it was the faux prints and the metamorphos and the sun foes, those are like extremely difficult to get. Like, there were more they were easier to get, but now, like, it takes a lot of effort, and it's just a symbol of how much you loved your one servant or your two servants. So yeah, it was not practical, and they keep adding these, and it bugs me. Rather than being I'm going to show my affection to one servant, it's like, why can't I strengthen all my servants? I've been working for 7 years. I should be able to do it. Well, in any case, that's it. I know that this video is gonna be bombarded with comments laughing at my clumsiness for one time after 7 years. And as well as other things. If you want to share your experiences, your opinions, your thoughts about the improvements that should be made on FGO regarding the bind code, be sure to leave them in the comments. I don't think I will be ever able to play this game again, which is a shame. I really don't like to end the game mid-journey. But there's little I can do about it due to my circumstances. So I'm gonna be doing videos about other things, just so that you know. I am not going to be doing videos of Fate. So if you're interested in whatever I do, you can check my videos. And that's it for today. I hope you find this hilarious, useful, or interesting in any way, shape, or form. And I'll be seeing some of you next time. Bye!